Start.
What you need? I would wait 2 more minutes till it's actually 5 o'clock, but then.
And it's
off.
yes.
Okay. Or that one.
Also have advertising out already for the new MPC member.
Oh, good.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, lots of turnover on this committee for a long time. Yeah.
It feels like there's always been there's been some stable, some move on a lot.
Well, Audrey's on it for quite a few years now.
Mm.
Or
Because I've been on
5.
council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep,
Yeah.
hard.
Fresh blood is good though.
Mhm. Just a reminder, we're going to do introductions so that everybody online can know who we are. And
So Joel McWilliams can know who we are.
I actually saw that there was quite a few views, like there was over 20 plus views of our
Oh.
MPC meeting. And
It
I
was
was
all me.
Just going through
I
her
just like
sound
to hear
clips.
your voices when I'm not here.
okay, it's 5 o'clock.
Okay, we'll start the Municipal Planning Commission meeting for March 1st, 2021. We'll start with a quick intro. So,
Start with Grace.
Bryce,
Bryce Ferguson, I'm a counselor at the town of Slave Lake.
Rebecca King, Council, Town of Slave Lake.
Samantha Dick, Acting Director of Planning and Development.
Syed Shah, Acting Chair, Member at Large.
Julie Randall, Town of Slave Lake.
John Lund, member at large.
Is that mic on?
I don't know.
That's what
You're gonna push a little button, there's a little button that says thank you.
I was going to say.
Right in front, should be right in front of you there now.
Right, this.
Yeah, yours should be right in
Mine's
front of
small.
you. Ours are one over.
Well, this one.
There we go. Let's try again.
Looks like red.
Yeah.
When it's red, it's on.
Oh,
John Lund, member at large.
Okay.
Thank you. So,
okay.
adoption of agenda. Anything to add?
Okay, so just so you guys all know, I had a late applicant come in Friday morning, and it is for a variance that technically needs to go to the ISDAB. So I've done the report and brought it here with us, if it's okay to add to the agenda.
So it's
Can I
not,
get a motion to add?
A motion, okay.
Sorry, John.
A motion, yeah.
Thank you.
Where's it?
here.
Oh, it's right there, okay. Oh, it's underneath.
You can't do it anymore.
So, minutes of previous meeting.
Call the question first.
Bryce, do you have any questions on the adoption?
I have no questions, no.
So, call to question, all those in favor for adding the motion?
Carried.
Thank you. So, minutes of previous meeting, can I have a motion on that? Thank you. Any questions? Call to questions, those in favor?
Okay.
So, business arising from the minutes? Any questions? Okay. So,
We just move on to the next one.
yeah, let's move on to the development permits, page number 13.
Okay, so the first item on the agenda is a 6-month review of a home-based business. This is for a Reiki business within the R1 Standard Detached Residential District for Leah Beauchamp at 917 6th Street Southwest. I've given you all the home-based business regulations. So on August 24th, 2020, the MPC approved this business, and it has been operating since that time, and we have not heard anything about it. I'm sure it's running and is doing fine, but at this point in time, we have no issues or questions regarding it. And so we recommend that the MPC give permanent approval to this home-based business.
I don't have any concerns with that either, so I'll just make that motion.
Thank you. So no questions, I guess? Call to questions, those in favor? So moving on to point B, this is page number 29.
This is another 6-month review for a home-based business for Dragonfly's Touch within the R1C Estate Residential District at 1809 Pioneer Drive Southwest for Marcia McDermott. It was approved also on the August 24th, 2020 meeting. And to date, we've received no complaints, concerns, etc. about the business. And we recommend that council give it permanent approval as well.
Yes, please.
I'll make the motion for permanent approval.
Thank you. Call to questions, those in favor? So moving on to point C, page number 45, please.
Okay. So I am bringing this report back. I'm not going to go through everything that I read last time. I'm just going to update you on the items that he brought forward. This is for Carwald for the asphalt plant. So he brought back that the noise levels will range typically between 80 and 105 decibels at 7 meters away from the unit. The generator that runs the plant will be enclosed inside of a van, which reduces the noise levels from 90 to 100 decibels to approximately 3 to 4 decibels. Attenuation or reduction of sound over distance is 20 decibels at 30 meters, which should be an acceptable level of 80 decibels at the fence line. This information was taken straight from the Cummins generator website and is factual. The plant is equipped with a 2-part bag filter system that traps gases and dust particles generated during the process of making asphalt. These bag houses are designed to have a collection efficiency of 99% or better. Now, regarding odors, the asphalt plant itself will not emit odors due to the blowback fans and filtration systems. The odors will only happen when the asphalt is being poured into trucks to be hauled away. And that is the extra information I brought back as requested. Is there anything else?
Any questions? Nice, yeah.
I have a question. So I see they put it in. So it should satisfy all our concerns, but say hypothetically that there is issues with smell and it ends up becoming quite a issue. What is the recourse there? I know there's some stuff in the bylaws in terms of enjoyable use of property with smell and noise and stuff like that, but what would be the recourse?
We would have to work with the landowner regarding it. There's not a whole lot of recourse. We can't just go in there and shut them down because they have obnoxious smells. They would have to try and what is the word I'm looking for, to deal with the odors on their site.
Okay.
And I understand that just because of the zoning, we don't seek consent of the neighbors or anything like that?
No, they're all industrial uses in that area. They're the use of those properties is meant to deal with
Industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've already approved one like this, so I suppose we could implement conditions or something like for odor, but because we didn't on the other one, it doesn't really seem fair to do that on this one. So, and honestly, I think the complaints or the concerns that were brought up were from older asphalt plants that didn't have all of this extra
Equipment.
bagging and ban and for odor and for dust. So hopefully that the new asphalt plants are better than they used to be, I guess.
Well, I know because I did a bit of research because there was questions about it, and I was like, okay, well, what was the issue 12 years ago, and should it be still an issue? The amount of movement forward on these plants has been tremendous in controlling dust, controlling odor, trying to make it so that they're easily used inside of municipalities. It's amazing the amount of stuff that has gone on to these to become like to lower the decibel levels, to lower the sound, lower the dust. All of that is quite a bit.
Good to hear.
Okay,
That's good enough for me. I'll make that motion.
great.
I got one question.
Okay.
Do we know if this is a continuous plant or a batch?
They say that they plan to run from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And what else did he say? And my understanding was that they were not going to be able to run in the wintertime. So I don't know enough about continuous or batch to answer that.
Right.
But I could definitely
Well, they-
contact them.
They do call it a portable asphalt plant.
Mhm.
So I just don't know what.
It's on a trailer. That's all I know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, call to questions, those in favor? Yeah, approved. So going to page 58.
Okay, so the purpose of this report is for the MPC to consider the application for an occupying space for offices at number 107, 100 Main Street Southwest, located in the shopping center next door for KTC Child and Family Services. I've given you all of the regulations regarding offices and that they're discretionary and need to be approved by you from the land use bylaw for this district. So as a result of the COVID-19 restrictions in place, the applicants need a secondary location within our municipality to assist their clients. And as the name indicates, they offer child and family support services to the Woodland, Loon Lake, Peerless, Trout Lake, and Lubicon communities. Their website lists goals of dealing with helping children and youth to have a healthy start and the supports they need to reach their potential, that children in care be supported and placed in permanent, culturally appropriate nurturing relationships to support youth who are under the guardianship of KTC Child and Family Services to transition to independence as young adults, and that communities would have the capacity for sharing, planning, and delivery of services that promote the well-being of children, youth, and families. Now, this office space in Slave Lake will provide a meeting space for this nonprofit organization to meet with more of their clients that they're currently unable to in the space that they have in Red Earth. And at this time, the planning department has no concerns with the application and recommends approval.
So do they have existing space in town or they're looking for?
No, they do not.
That's good. Yeah.
I think it's actually a great spot for it. I think it's going to be a great addition to our community. I have no issues and I'll happily make that motion.
So no further questions, I guess. Call to questions, all those in favor?
Where is the offices?
Just it would be
The mall.
beside Service Canada.
Oh, this,
Yeah.
okay.
Slave Lake Plaza or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
Okay. Motion approved. Moving on to page number 68.
Okay, so the purpose of this report is for the MPC to consider the application for a change in use to add bulk fuel and chemical storage and distribution, i.e. a 50,000 liter fuel storage tank at 911 6th Street Northwest. This is on the Spillick Tank Truck Service Limited site in the M1 Light Industrial District. I've given you the definition for bulk fuel and that section 100 listed as a discretionary use. The applicant came forward because they would like to add this tank to their site for their own use. They don't wish to sell the fuel. It is purely 100% for their own use. This is a discretionary use and is governed by the Alberta Safety Codes Authority. And they tell us that with the high cost of fuel, that if they can have their own tank on site, it will cost them less to run their business. Below, I have shown you an aerial view of their site with the red box indicating approximately where the tank would be located on their site. And you can see that the business covers 2 larger industrial lots, so there should be plenty of space for the proposed application. They also have to get approval from Alberta Safety Codes Petroleum Association for this, after this approval from the municipality. And so we have no concerns regarding the application and recommend approval.
So,
Mhm.
is this the first requirement that they're asking for it?
This is the first time, yeah, and this is the first step of them getting it. They have to go through a couple more approvals.
And is the tank on top of land or underground, like
It'll be above ground.
above?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 50,000 liters seems to be a lot.
Yeah.
In terms of usage.
They probably use a lot in their business.
That's
too.
what I was just thinking, yeah.
And do we have any knowledge of what kind of fuel is it? Is it diesel or is it some other sort of petrol or?
I want to say it's gasoline, but I don't know what big trucks take. 'Cause I drive one.
Probably likely, it's probably likely diesel.
And likely diesel?
I would assume.
I was gonna say, they didn't tell me. They just said they wanted bulk fuel. And so it's whatever it will take to run their big trucks, because they're a trucking company, so.
And lastly, do we need something from the fire chief in terms of safety and?
I've contacted the fire chief on this, and he has said as long as the Petroleum Association signs off on it, he's good.
Okay.
And they'll cover the chemical aspect of it as well?
How do you mean?
They're just noting bulk fuel and chemical storage.
Yeah, that's the
And
definition. That's the use that I have to use, because that's what this use falls under.
Okay.
That they're not distributing chemicals. They're not using chemicals. They only want to get one 50,000 liter tank to have their own fuel on site.
Truck fueling? Okay.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, so it has to come to us and then it goes to the Alberta Safety Codes Authority. So they go through all the safety plan with them,
Mhm.
all the various different, so that's not on you. That's off your plate. That's a completely different.
Absolutely.
agency. Yeah. So I don't have an issue with it because I know they'll do diligence, making sure that it's a safe addition to the area.
Exactly.
So can we put that condition?
It's already in, it's absolutely already in there. And I've already actually sent them the email, giving them the information of what the next steps are, so that they're aware that there's these two other approving bodies that they need to deal with as well.
Yeah, and the fire chief does not have any concerns.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Well, that being said, I will put a motion on the floor for approval of the development permit.
Okay, so call to questions, those in favor? Okay, so the newly added point number F.
So the purpose of this report is to consider an application for a variance to the side yard of a detached dwelling and side yard deck in the R1D detached dwelling mobile home district at 526th Avenue Northwest. I've given you the regulations regarding this, and then the regulations regarding the variance powers for the NPC for a side yard, which is 40%. In March of 2017, the owners, while purchasing the property, requested and received a certificate of compliance for the noted property. In February 2021, the owners again requested compliance as they have sold the property, and they had not made any changes to the property in that time. However, when they applied for the compliance letter, while reviewing the RPR, I noted that the side yard deck did not comply and had been missed in the 2017 compliance letter. So in accordance with section 68 of the land use bylaw, the minimum side yard setback must be 3 meters. Section 62(2) of the land use bylaw states that an unclosed deck may project a maximum of 0.6 meters over or onto the required yard. And as such, the required setback for an unenclosed deck would be 2.4 meters. As per the real property report supplied, the side yard setback for the unenclosed deck is 1.08 meters. And as such, a 64% variance is required. Now, the planning department feels that the requested side yard variance is greater than the NPC has the power to vary, and as such requests a refusal of the variance. As motions must be done in the positive, the motion requested should be refused. Any questions?
So any questions?
No, I'll make that motion.
Okay. So,
So it's against the bylaw right now?
Technically, yes,
And it's not within our purview to be able to approve the variance.
because NPC only has 40% and the requested variance needs to be 64%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if we vote for it, or against it, what happens?
We basically have to vote against it, correct?
It is to, yeah.
So to play devil's advocate, if you decided that I was wrong and you have more variance powers than 40%, you could say, vote for it and say you have the approval authority to do that,
Okay,
and then it would be approved. Now, as a development officer, I would appeal against that.
Okay, so yeah, so basically it's not the variance exceeds our powers, so you need a motion.
Yes, and Rebecca has said she would make that motion, but you have another question?
So are they aware that the MPC does not have the powers to grant
Yes.
this, but then it's going to have to go through this, artificial process?
I've
where
actually
the-
already received the application for the SDA.
Okay, so they already know that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that they have that information.
Yeah, no, I was very clear with them. I said, I'm really sorry. This is what happened. This is what it is now, and I have to take with what is in front of me now.
So is there a fee for them for that?
For the variance,
Yes.
no. For the subdivision hearing, yes, because I have to pay people to come to the hearing. It's $300
That the homeowners have to
that they would have had to pay
back
previously
then.
as
Okay.
well, yeah. So,
However, it would have been the previous homeowner.
The previous
paying it.
homeowner.
Yeah.
yes, if that had been part of their, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So to waive an SDAB fee would have to go before council.
I think I'm gonna make a motion to put that before council. I don't think it's fair that they,
Charge them when.
that
it
we
was
charged
passed
them when
they
it
bought
was
Yeah.
our fault, kind of.
That was why the other fee was waived.
Yeah.
It's because it was missed.
Yeah, I don't think it's,
What did you say, Sam? That was why what?
The fee for variance was waived because it should have been dealt with when they first bought it.
Oh, yeah.
And I waived that fee for them.
so there is a fee.
There is typically a fee.
They just
And-
didn't pay it at this time.
There's a fee for the variance and then there's a fee for the SDAB hearing. I waived the fee for the variance because technically they can't get a variance in any of these approving bodies and they have to go to the SDAB anyways. And so to cover the fees of the SDAB, and they seemed quite happy with that, just so you're aware.
okay.
That they saved $300.
450.
The variance fee and the SDAB.
Oh, and this, okay.
Let me
So
think about this
basically,
one for a minute.
you need a vote to turn down, basically.
You need to vote and vote against, basically, yeah.
So call to questions, all those against the motion, I guess.
No, you go in favor first.
Okay, all those in favor? All those against?
Yes, and then all those against. Yeah, so then it's defeated, yeah.
So we're gonna push it to town council.
To
No.
SDAB.
So town council can waive the fee. I would have to bring a report forward asking for that.
Am I the only one that thinks, am I off my rocket here?
No, I think
No,
if it got missed
I
before, right?
agree with
it's-
you.
it's the principle of fairness.
I can make a note on the minutes saying that you've asked for this to come, the fees to come forward to council to be waived.
Yeah, I'd like
And
to make
then
that
bring a
motion.
report forward. It will not be coming this week.
No.
It may not come till the 16th, but
But when would it be pushed up to the SDAB?
so as of tomorrow, they have 21 days to appeal. But I already have the application. I'm just waiting for the fees, which they had told me they were going to have sent to my office today. So I imagine sometime this week, they will be contacting me.
Okay. So we have time, basically.
We have time, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Because
don't
the
think
third
it-
meeting of council is on the 16th. So, and that's not even 21 days then. So we have time, yeah.
Okay, so I guess moving forward, land use bylaw, page number 80.
Motion to go to council, or are we all good with it, or, I don't know.
It
Should be,
Already.
yep.
It's already voted.
The report was defeated, but you want a motion made to bring that to council? You want it, but in
Just
your
so it
name?
doesn't get forgotten. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so then we do need a vote on that.
Yeah, so all the questions, all those in favor?
Okay. Okay, and then,
And use bylaw, page number 8.
okay. So this, the purpose of this report is for the MPC to provide council with a recommendation with respect to bylaw 03/2021. The applicant is Jesse Roberts. Currently, the landowner is William Mazur, but Jesse's in the process of purchasing this property. And the address is 312th Street Southeast on Lot 1, Block 36, Plan 5928RS. And the proposal is to rezone the properties from R1 Standard Detached Residential District to R2 Medium Density Residential District. This only needs to be changed within the land use bylaw because that's all that, none of the other plans are affected. And so, as I said, Mr. Roberts is in the process of purchasing the subject lands from Mr. Mazurka because he would like to develop a semi-detached dwelling on the site and live in one side to provide the other unit to his mother. And in order to develop a semi-detached dwelling on the site, the subject lands must be rezoned first, as this use is not a listed or a permitted or discretionary use in the R1. It is currently being advertised on the town's website, and adjacent landowners were sent their letter today. Policy statements in the MDP indicate that the town should facilitate appropriate redevelopment or infill development to achieve higher residential densities within established areas. Mr. Roberts has indicated that he would like to develop the site to provide a residential housing unit for himself and a separate unit for his mother. And the planning department feels that the rezoning of the site to R2 medium density fulfills the statement of the MDP. Further, this increase in density should have no impact on the residential developments in the area, as the development will be required to provide the requisite on-site parking. And finally, there are 6 R2 developments on 1A Avenue Southeast, just a block north of this subject site, that have existed for quite some time and appear to have had no negative impacts on the adjacent or neighboring properties. And the planning department has no concerns with the application and recommends that the Municipal Planning Commission supports bylaw 03/2021.
So, do we have a question?
Yeah, so looking at the map, it looks like it's a little larger of a lot than a few of them in that area. So as long as, I don't think I have any concerns because there are R2 developments and there's secondary suites in that area as well. So I don't think I have a problem with it as long as he gets you everything he needs for the actual development on it.
Well, he has Ray Stern helping him, so I imagine.
Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So a semi-detached, is that like a duplex? Like, what does that look like?
So a duplex is technically one unit in front of the other.
Yeah.
This is a semi-detached, so they're side by side.
Okay. So, what is the density level allowed in an R2? So say, for example, Mr. Roberts decides to sit on, we approve it. Can he all of a sudden put a 6-plex there or something down the road? What is the maximum density?
The duplex.
Two.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few
Oh,
questions. I just turned it off. Is the lot big enough for this? Like, is it going to have to go for variances?
Technically, the lot is big enough to do a duplex. My understanding is that there will be variances coming forward for the development that he wishes to have.
Okay.
To meet the setbacks.
No, parcel coverage.
Oh, parcel coverage.
Oh, okay. And any idea, or does this come further on down the road where the driveways would sit?
Driveways will be on 12th Street.
Both?
Yes,
Both streets?
Both driveways will
both
come out on
driveways will be
12th
side by
Street.
side coming onto 12th Street. Mostly because there'll be attached garages, first of all, and to do one on the They couldn't do both sides on the narrowest portion of the lot because of the corner cutoff.
Mhm.
And the turning radius is regarding traffic safety. So both driveways will be on 12th Street.
And do you know if there's plans of a backyard or side yard? I'm just looking at the space. I don't know.
Going to be mostly side yard the way it looks.
I don't know how they're gonna do that.
If it's side by side, it's going to have to be.
The rear yard for a corner lot, even though it's a duplex, technically, the frontage of the property will still be in the cul-de-sac area, not on 12th Street. That will still be considered the side yard setback
Okay,
because the narrowest portion of the lot is always the frontage.
right.
So he will have the 7.5 meters that side, 7.5 meters on the side. The rear yard then only needs to be, I'll check that because don't want to misquote it. Four and a half meters.
The letters went out today, you said?
Mhm.
So if there's any concerns, we'll hear.
Yeah.
It's in my experience, it's a congested little area right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a very congested area,
Bryce,
especially before and after school.
you had a question, Bryce?
Not a question. I'm just saying, as long as like the density, you said it can only be a maximum of like a duplex, and he would have to achieve all his setbacks and whatnot at another point.
Yeah.
I'm fine with us supporting this bylaw.
So call to questions, motion.
Well, so I'll make that motion then.
Okay, thank you. So call to questions, those in favor?
Question.
Yes.
So we have an R2 down the street and we have an R2 up the street. Why is this one an R1? Like, what would qualify that just to be an R1? Is just the way the town had zoned it at that time, or?
I'm sorry. Oh. It would have been how it was zoned at that time. These lots were meant for single houses. And even the houses along 6th Avenue where you mentioned the R2 are all, I shouldn't say all, there is 2 duplexes on there, but for the most part are single residences.
Because I just don't know if this map does it justice with the density. Because when I'm looking at the R2s, it's really dense, and then the R1s have some space.
Yes, that's
So
true.
Is this a
So
lot size thing or
the
like?
lot size, that is a part of it, absolutely. Each district has a requirement for a minimum lot size, which this lot currently meets
The R2
the R2
requirement?
just. It is one of what we'll call, it is a larger, but
Does
not,
it meet it because it's a corner lot?
pardon me?
Does it meet that requirement because it's a corner lot?
It just meets
Just
that
meeting it.
because it is a corner lot.
And the one beside it would not meet that requirement?
The one beside it is technically a bigger lot. That's what that
That's a really.
304
Mm-hmm.
is technically,
There's a
Well,
way
I
bigger
guess it's
lot.
kind of a corner.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the frontage for 304 is very small. So they wouldn't, in order to, if say 304 was to develop a duplex on it, the driveway width would cover the entire front yard.
Yeah.
Which technically is not allowed. So that would be a constraint on that particular lot.
Which develops a parking issue.
Yes,
Right away.
exactly.
From driving there every day, there's a big parking issue already.
There's a big parking issue and all on
On that
west
right,
side
like
of 12
literally right there.
is no parking. And there's people that
It-
just disregard
park
that
there,
signage
yeah.
anyways. And so then it causes lots of issues
Yeah.
with driving through that street.
And there'll
That
be
should be
no
enforced
place to
then.
park in front of his place as a public parking spot.
They are not allowed to, but that, like I said, that doesn't stop people from doing it.
Yeah.
And I personally have had to make complaints about the parking because people park there and they leave their vehicles for a week. And I've had people almost hit me head on because I'm trying to go on these vehicles.
Can't imagine it would be great for snow removal either.
It's horrid. Yeah.
That is true. But Bryce has a motion on the floor
Yeah, so,
and was
yeah, so 3 votes in
Yeah.
favor. So,
carried.
do you want to disclose those against?
You can absolutely ask for those against.
Yeah. So those against the motion?
Rebecca, okay.
So about 4. So moving forward, proposed subdivisions.
Have none at this time.
New business.
Have any
Any questions?
concerns?
Other than it's a dwindling committee we got going on here.
I'm
Yeah.
hopeful that with advertising going out, that we will have some applications come in.
Well, 4 more meetings and then I'll be the only person here and you. Because every meeting, somebody has left the committee. So,
That's not a typical trend on this committee. So.
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, well, everyone has their reasons, so.
Yes. So our next meeting will be April 12th because of the Easter holidays.
Okay.
It won't be on the first Monday.
Okay, so do we need a motion for
Nope,
any of these?
nope. There's no items on there, so there's no motions.
MPC development concerns, I guess nothing there. And then the next meeting is on April 12th.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody have anything else? We can adjourn.
Thank you.